Welcome to the Cohn Zone, the real Cohn Zone, the Cohn Zone with me and my dad. I'm Grant Cohn. That's Lowell Cohn, the legendary Lowell Cohn. You haven't seen him in the last few weeks. He's been on IR. He had back surgery. He's been in a hospital. He was in a hospital bed for 16 days, and now he's back on the Cohn Zone. So, Dad, what we're going to do today is my dad's going to tell you where he's been, and then I'm going to catch him up on what the Niners have been doing the last month because he's basically been in underground. So, Dad, it's a pleasure. How have you been and what have you been doing?
Well, it's certainly nice to be doing this again. Thanks, Iggy. What happened was, and I'm a little fuzzy on dates. A month ago, 3 weeks ago, I experienced really bad pain down my left side, starting at my hip. I mean, really bad. And the doctor, as according to protocol, thought it was sciatica, an inflammation of the sciatic nerve that probably a disc had protruded. And if you take prednisone, that can make the disc go back in and it goes away, but it actually didn't go away and it got worse and worse. And my pain was so bad, Iggy knows this, the only position I had that was comfortable, I would say livable, was to lie on my back on my bedroom floor and sort of be immobilized. And I did that for 10 days. If I had to go to the bathroom, I had to crawl because I couldn't even walk. So finally they did an MRI and it was very interesting. Iggy took me I'd never had one before, and Iggy took me and I had to get up on the gurney for them to put me through the machine, and my left leg gave out and I fell to the floor. Iggy had to pick me up in his arms and put me on the gurney. And I have to say, I appreciate, but it's kind of humbling for a dad when his son has to pick him up. Anyway, they discovered that there was a real issue in my spine, and it needed surgery very quickly. So I got it 5 days later from a wonderful surgeon named Jeffrey Randall, and he fixed it. He fixed it. But the upshot was that my left leg no longer knew how to walk, and still doesn't particularly. So they sent me, I had been at Eden Hospital in Castro Valley, and they sent me over to Summit Hospital in Oakland. They have an acute rehabilitation center, and I was there for 2 weeks. I'd never really been in the hospital before. I'm 75. I'd never had an operation. I was once in the hospital overnight when I was 13 because I got hit by a car, but it was no big deal. Anyway, this is a wonderful place, and they have a whole gym, which Iggy saw, for people like me who need to learn to walk again, or for people who've had strokes or heart attacks or been in car accidents. It was a world-class facility. So where I'm at now, I can walk with a walker. And I mean, I can walk pretty well with a walker. I don't fall down, but I have to hold on. And I have a physical therapist who comes to the house, and I have a million exercises to do to strengthen my leg. So eventually, get this, I can walk with a cane. Who knows? And eventually, hopefully, I can walk without a cane. But it's going to take a while. And here's the thing about it that I'm going to say is most interesting. Although I'm 75, I never had felt old. I didn't feel young, but I felt vigorous. I wrote 2 books since I retired 4 years ago. I published one, hopefully publish the other one. Who knows? I do these broadcasts with Iggy. I'm a man who's in the world. And this was the first time I felt old because I couldn't do any of that anymore. And this is the thing. There are people in the world who have so much worse than I do, have cancer, heart attacks, who are dying. I'm nothing like that. I had a problem. There's a way to solve it. My life was never in danger. So I'm not in a class with people like that, but eventually I will be. Something's waiting for me. Something's waiting for everybody. Mm-hmm. And this was the first time I didn't think about, but actually felt an early brush with my mortality.
And you also said that you felt more alone in the last month than you ever have felt. Because like the whole world's going on with their lives and you're not.
That's right. And even the people who love you and want to help you, you have to go through this yourself. You have to experience the pain on your own, and you have to come back on your own. And I have a loving sons and a loving wife, but you feel alone. You do. Mm-hmm. And in the hospital, you can't have guests because of COVID. So I was alone all the time. And it's so there's a feeling that you're so on your own, and it's your first brush with mortality. And you know that there's something else out there waiting for you. And my last word is, it sent a shiver down my spine.
Sure, but you definitely dodged a bullet. It was a bullet, but you dodged it.
Okay, you used bullet. For me, I used the boxing metaphor. I got knocked out. I went down for the count.
Yeah.
They had to give me smelling salts.
Yeah. Yes.
They did. But you know what? I'll fight another fight, and I'll gladly do it.